The 2025 Nissan Armada is a 100% new vehicle, completely new. And every Armada is powered by a twin-turbo V6, a 3.5 liter, and it replaced the V8 that it had before. 425 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque, and is paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. It has a standard tow hitch that can tow 8,500 pounds. There are 5 main trim levels on the 2025 Nissan Armada, but the new one is the Pro 4X. They've never had a Pro 4X before, and it has all-terrain tires, like black fenders and stuff like that. It has red accents, looks really good. Locking rear differential, adaptive air suspension, information on the screen that relates to off-roading, as well as a full camera system with the invisible hood view and all that stuff. We'll look at that in this video. The main trims are the SV is the base trim. Now it's the base trim, but you still get a lot of functionality. It does have the wireless Apple CarPlay. It has the Class 4 towing gear for the towing, and it has the blind spot detection system, automatic braking. But yeah, this is a really good starting point for the price, especially the SV. The SL, you get a bigger screen, you get Google built in with Google Maps and stuff like that, Alexa. It has a better sound system with the Klipsch brand 12-speaker sound system, leather interior, power liftgate. It also has several options, like you can get the Pro Pilot Assist 2.1, which is a hands-off system while you're on certain highways. Then there's also the Platinum trim, where you get quilted leather, massage seats. It also has biometric cooling, in which it will kind of tell where the hot spots are, like if an individual is hotter than everybody else, then it can add more air conditioning in that area. The Platinum also has the panoramic sunroof, 22-inch wheels, motion-activated liftgate, as you like kick your foot or whatever. Now at the very tippy top, you have the Platinum Reserve, which gives you everything from the Platinum, but it gives you two-tone paint options, an upgraded trim, and it has the full standard technology that the vehicle comes with. But yeah, that's the very tippy top is the Platinum Reserve. Now all the trims have 8-passenger seating. Captain's chair is optional, and this will be all the upper trims actually. And it has 97 cubic feet of cargo space, and it has USB-C ports pretty much everywhere in the vehicle, as we'll see. Today we're checking out a 2025 Nissan Armada in the Pro 4X trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 275/60 Yokohama tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has 4-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all 4 wheels. I really like this green color. It's kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but I'm going to say it's more on the pastel range. I'm not really sure, but it looks really good, really impressive, especially on this type of vehicle with that off-road vibe to it. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera here, but looks really good. So here in the front, it has the camera system. It actually has a dash cam system. So one of the dash cam cameras is there. It has a camera here for the lane keep assist system. There's the 360 camera right here in the center where the badge is. Parking sensors across the front, mostly matte black, but you also have some gloss black and metallic there at the bottom. And it had the orange Nissan badging as well. There's also some orange recovery hooks. It looks like somebody's taking this off-road because the hooks have already been used. So it also has an LED headlight system with some accent lights, turn signals, and all that stuff. I'm planning on doing a night video if you want to check it out. It's a projector system. Both the fog lights and the headlights are all projectors. Looking at the profile, it does have the side step, which is a matte black, and it kind of like extends from the cladding into the side step and then around to the back of the vehicle. The pillars here are a gloss black, kind of solidifying the glass because it does have the privacy glass there. Even the front pillar and the roof is all gloss black. Body colored handles and upper port, the side mirrors are also gloss black, which they also have a little camera in them as well for the 360 camera system. This is what the key looks like, and quite a bit different from the previous Nissan key generation. It's a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier. Basic functions are the same basically. It's got the remote start, lock, unlock, ability to open up the power lift gate, panic button, physical key on the inside. I have a video showing you how to change the battery on this key if you want to look at the insides and everything. But it's a proximity system, and as long as you have the key with you, you can have it in your pocket, in a bag. You can just use the vehicle 100% by locking the doors using this little button here and then unlocking it with a little sensor behind the handle. Now it also has a feature in which it just senses the key unlocks the vehicle, right? And also automatically locks as you walk away. Now the only issue I've had with this system is the power liftgate. Every time I walk past, just go near the vehicle, like I get out of the car, lock it up, and then just walk into the store, and I hear the beeping noise and the liftgate's lifting up. Or I'll be standing there, open up the power liftgate, walk up to it, I'm trying to get my stuff out, groceries or whatever, or my equipment, and then it just starts closing on me. Like it's constantly opening and closing. Every time it senses the key behind the vehicle, it just opens up or closes just randomly. So yeah, it's been an issue. So I'm not sure if this one has a defect or something. It most likely does. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but yeah, it's not supposed to work that way. Basically, the doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, all the way to the step anyway, and there's a rubber seal here as well, kind of keeping that threshold area relatively clean. The inside of the doors is mostly black. It does have this kind of orange stitching here with a little accent, looking nice. This is all soft touch here, here, here. Then you have the harder touch surfaces at the bottom. Now this is enclosed, so you can utilize that as a pocket. Then you have the larger pocket at the bottom. Now this one has the Klipsch system, reference system. Sounds really good. It's one of the best sound systems. It's the same brand as the QX80, which is very impressive. This is a lot of overlap with the QX80. It's a pretty impressive vehicle. I think they did a great job on it. So it's a power seat, four-way lumbar adjustment here on the passenger side, and check out these seats. Really cool. They feel really good, comfortable and everything. You have this little pattern right here. They're heated and vented. You have the different contrast stitchings here. And it has Pro 4X embroidered here in the headrest. But yeah, there's a little compartment here with a 12-volt power supply. There's a little light in there as well. There's the leg room here, floor mats, hooks and plays. It feels like you're sitting in a chair when you're sitting in this vehicle. It's very comfortable. Has a good seating position, good visibility and all that stuff. Locking glove compartments. Now this is a soft surface right here. It's not like a hard touch like a lot of the other vehicles. And it's a smooth plastic on the inside. Then you have this other kind of wood grain accent here, looking pretty cool. And check this out, more of that stitching, and then it has that little, I guess it's going for like a carbon fiber type look, and then they kind of like tapered it off right here. It's kind of interesting way of ending that design. I guess there's no place to fold it over like on this side. The dash is a soft touch, non-reflective dash up here. It does have handles on all four doors, even in the driver's door as well. Plenty of room getting in and out of the vehicle. You can see, me personally, I don't always use the step. Sometimes I just kind of step over the step. But getting in and out is no problem. You're not going to bump your head or anything. It has a good height off the ground. Same thing here with the back. The swing of the door in the front is good. The swing of the door in the back is good. You have lots of room here. So yeah, not bad. So the back door, basically the same styling as the front. Soft touch and then hard touch at the bottom. Now this seat right here has the car seat attachments in the outer two seats. And then there's also a place here. So you can have one kind of like off center in a way, because it has this one attachment there in the center. It has the armrest with cup holders, and it's very soft here. But yeah, these seats are awesome. So the back of both front seats has the mat pockets. Almost a completely flat floor. And then back here we have the climate control, heated seat controls, USB-Cs, and a 12-volt power supply. Now, these back seats, you can fold them flat like those seats, or you can grab this right here and pull it and kind of spoon that seat up towards the front. And then now we can access the third row. In the third row, look at the amount of legroom here. These are substantial seats. You can see the charge port and stuff here. Cup holders. Now there's a car seat attachment only on this left seat, not on the other side. But yeah, pretty impressive as far as legroom, because the seat's quite a ways off the floor, unlike a lot of other vehicles where it feels like you're sitting on the floor. So this one actually feels like a chair. So yeah, it's a substantial amount of space here in the third row. Pretty impressive. So looking at the back of the vehicle, it has this little orange Armada emblem there. And there is I don't know if you can see a little antenna there at the very top. I don't know if you can see that. There's also a wiper here in the rear glass. There's the third brake light, but there's a wiper up in there, and it swings down. There's also a rear view camera. So right here is the rear view camera. So you want to keep that clean. So it has a rear view mirror and a rear view camera. And then the backup camera is down here, kind of offset, not centered, not really the best place or whatever, but it works fine. Works good enough. Parking sensors back here as well. You have a full LED taillight system, which looks fantastic. And I'll show that in the night video if you want to check that out. Now these are reflectors down here, they're not lights. Opening up the power lift gate, you can of course use the key, or you can press a button under here. Or in my case, you just like walk around the vehicle and it automatically opens. But yeah, that's the way you're supposed to do it. Press that button there. And there's a hard plastic under there. If you have all the seats occupied with passengers, this is the cargo space. And it's kind of minimal, I guess you can say. Especially if you're getting a bunch of groceries or whatever. You can raise and lower the vehicle here. So if you need to lower it a little bit, you can do that. Press and hold that button. And it's lowering down. Give me a better position here. Now this could also come in handy for accessing stuff, but also hook it up to a trailer hitch or something like that. Now here on the left side, there is a power inverter, 120 volts, 150 watts. So not a huge amount of power there, but it does have it. There's little tie downs here. You put a net pocket or whatever. There's a little storage, like a hidden storage compartment here as well. It's kind of neat. Has this little plastic cover. And there is some controls here. So if you need to lower the seats, you can do that using these buttons here. But before we get to that, under this floor is a slight amount of storage compartment. Now you notice it's just kind of loosey-goosey, this thing. It does have a strap to keep it from moving around too much, but you know, this cover just lifts up here. So let's say we wanted to add some cargo space because we don't have any passengers in the back seat, the third row or whatever. We can go ahead and fold this one down. Now we can add to our cargo space while still maintaining passenger space on the other side. So now we have a lot more. Let's say we need to put a big box here. We can do that, and that's almost completely flat. We can do the same thing on the left side. We can go ahead and fold that down. Now we have a much bigger cargo area. You can see the USB charge port and the buttons here for the third row a little bit better now. So yeah, now we've added a huge amount of cargo space, but there's more. Let's say we want to lower these seats. We can do that. They kind of flop down. They're not as like, you know, fancy, but they just kind of flop down like that. But all from here, pushing buttons, we've lowered every seat in the vehicle. And now we have a massive, we can put like a refrigerator back here or something. So yeah, side-by-side refrigerator, we just pick it up and put it in here. Yeah, I just walked past the gate there, and then it closed on me again. So let's see if I walk past it again, see if it'll open. I just kind of walk by. Yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't do it consistently. Walk by again. So yeah, it just kind of does it when I don't have the camera rolling. To lower the power liftgate, there's two buttons. One to simply lower it, the other one is to lower it, then lock the vehicle. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's capless. It locks with the vehicle as well, and so premium fuel is recommended. Just factor that into your cost analysis. But yeah, it's basically capless design. Fuel door locks with the vehicle, and it's on the driver's side, which is convenient. Start it up, you just put your foot on the brake and the keys inside the vehicle and press this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Hooks in place. There's the accelerator, footrest, and brake pedal and all that. Lots of room, pretty much. Let's take a look under the hood. To raise the hood, there's a latch right here in the center, basically a little bit to the right of center, and you can see it because it's yellow. Just move it to the left and lift up, and it holds it up for you. There's insulation under the hood. There's also seals around the hood as well. And there's the battery. It's easy to get to. It's also insulated. It's like this vehicle's doing some off-roading. Twin turbo V6. Got a big cover covering it up, but hopefully you can see a little bit in here. Powering this vehicle is a V6, a 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6 that puts out 425 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque, and is paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Maximum towing capacity is 8,500 pounds. That's quite a bit. The indicator for the blind spot detection system is this little triangle here on the side mirror. It illuminates when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. There's also an auto dim side mirror as well. Now the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have two presets for the power seat. There's also power window switches here. They're all one touch up and down. These are laminated glass here in the front. The rear glass comes down fast, and it doesn't go all the way down. It's not laminated either, as far down as it goes, but it is one touch up and down. You can power fold the side mirrors as well. You can also set it to where it'll power fold when you lock the vehicle. And then there's door lock controls there. Power seat here for the driver, four-way lumbar adjustment, basically the same as the passenger. So yeah, really impressive looking seats, feel good. I like this real tight leather without being too wrinkly. You can get in and kind of slide around easier, and it's comfortable. It has this little, I don't know, there's something about it. These are just really good seats. They look good, feel good. To the left of the steering column, you have the electronic parking brake, auto hold button there as well. You got more of that wood grain type accent. Lane keep assist system, you can turn that on or off quickly. So certain roads, I usually turn it off. And then there's the button to open up the power liftgate. There's also a powered tilt and telescoping steering column. You can see the paddle shifters here right now. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And it's fine. Like, there's lots of room here on the right side, on the left side. So yeah, as far as I usually pull it up a little bit more than this when I drive. I mean, I probably could drive like this since it's an automatic, but usually I pull it up a little bit. So if you're over 6 feet tall, should have no problem driving the vehicle. This is all soft here on the side, and it doesn't really, I'm not really resting my leg or something on it, but if you happen to, it is soft here. The steering wheel, it is heated steering wheel, and it's very comfortable and soft, has a little give to it. Feels really good, and the stitching doesn't stick out too much, so it feels good. Now it has quite a few buttons on it. It has the paddle shifters here on the back, cruise control is here on the left side, and then you have the volume for the radio. You do have to turn on the cruise control, and then you set it with this button here, and then you can change the speed, resume, and then cancel here. So this little set button is separate from this, so pulling this down is not going to set it. You have to press this button here, and then you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you here. Now here on the right side, change to the tracks. So you can notice the bottom part is for the radio. So there's the volume, and then change to the tracks, and then this upper part corresponds with the screen. We'll get to this in a minute because it's quite involved. It actually involves this screen and this screen. And then there's voice recognition control here as well. Also, these buttons right here, the the change to the tracks. They also serve to answer and hang up. So if you have a call coming in, it'll illuminate. I don't know if you can tell, there's a little icon that illuminates here for the call, and then you can hang up with this side. It's only when you're in a call though. Windshield wiper controls are here, front and rear. It also has an automatic rain sensing system. Here on the left side is the turn signal, but you also have your headlight switch. It does have the ability to turn off the fog lights there, and then you turn off the headlights. Has automatic function, and the automatic high beams are controlled here. Just press this button here on the end. There's a dimmer switch for the interior gauges here, or basically the screen, and a lot of different things. I'll show you that in the night video. But basically the screen it has different views. This is the first view here, which has the traditional dials, and has the outside temperature, digital clock, fuel gauge, engine coolant temperature, odometer, basic stuff like that. Status of the all-wheel drive system here. But if we want to, we can use these buttons here. So we can go here, left and right. So what I'm going to do is go left and right, and you can show different things there in the center. So we can choose what we want, including a navigation map. And on some of them you can go up and down, so you can go here, get more information. Go to the left, we can get more information. It's got the pitch and roll. It has a lot of off-road stuff since it's a Pro 4X. You can also have just nothing here on the center screen if you'd like. And there's settings here that you can set up. Alright, but you also can press this button right here. So this button corresponds with that screen. Pressing this button on this side takes it over here, and then your scroll wheel and the arrows and everything controls what you want to select here, so you don't have to necessarily use it as a touchscreen if you want to make a selection there. We can pull up the screen here and change the meter view, and makes it look a little bit different here, and it's more minimal, so that's pretty cool. We can change what we want in the center, including navigation map, and that's kind of cool. So yeah, some stuff looks a little bit different here. Expands it. We even had this view here. So yeah, if we want a more minimal view and it kind of blends in with the other side, you can do that. Thought that was kind of neat. Now there's more features. The camera system also uses this screen. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Alright, so here's this screen, and like I said, you can use this button here. We just choose that side, and you can use the little controls here to make selections on this screen, but fundamentally it's a touch screen. So we have icons here at the bottom. So navigation, a radio, phone, home screen, which is we're in now, climate control, different apps, and then you also have voice recognition, and then the seat controls here. For the passenger, there's the driver seat controls as well. There's a little bit of redundant buttons below. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, this is like the home screen, and you can kind of swipe through and access different things. It does have the dash cam as well. I'll show you that in a second. But there's a navigation map, which has a satellite view if you'd like to have that, which looks pretty cool. Radio is here. You can change audio sources. AM, FM, satellite radio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Amazon Alexa, all these different things here. Next one is your phone. Once you pair your phone, you have access to that here. This is back to the home screen. Climate control can be controlled up here. Here's all the different apps. Now in the apps, you can adjust the brightness of the interior light system. It has like floorboard illumination and stuff like that. You can adjust it. Doesn't have like an ambient light or anything. Now the dash cam, you select that. Right now it's showing the front view, which I have the shade up. The camera's up here, so the shade's getting a little bit of reflection there. There's the rear view, but it also has an inside camera here as well. So there it is. So you can record audio and video and all that stuff, take a picture. And so the integrated dash cam is kind of neat, and you can access everything here. You can look at the files here and view them and all that stuff. Now the SD card for this system, if you want to take it out and transfer it to your computer, is under here. So this compartment under here, basically on the other side, you have to reach in and there's a little card reader back in here. So yeah, it's just like the QX80. So this camera system is really awesome. If we put it in reverse, or if the parking sensor senses something, or if we simply just press this button, it'll pop up the camera system. So the initial view here is this top-down view, and then this right now is the front view. And it has an estimated trajectory of the vehicle. As I turn the steering wheel, you'll be able to see that it's showing the width of the vehicle, but also the direction and all that stuff. Now, if we choose this view right here, we can see the front of the view and also the front wheels here. They're very close, so we can see where we are in relationship to other things. We also have this view here, front view, that's very wide. And then this is what's called invisible hood view. So we can see what our tires, direction of our tires, and also where we're at. And it kind of like takes a picture of what's underneath, the vehicle's driving over, so it gives an estimate of what's underneath there. So as I drive, kind of like it's a little twitchy and not perfectly accurate, but it gives you a general idea of what's underneath the vehicle. Now we can expand this to the other side like that, so we can have it on both sides, give it a larger view like that. We can also expand this view here. So if we want to have the full view here, we can do that if we want. That one's not expandable, and this one's not expandable. So yeah, it does a pretty good job with this top-down, stitching these lines together and making it look realistic and everything. Now when we put it in reverse, let me pull up a little bit here first. When we put it in reverse, instead of the front view, we have the back view. And you'll notice it shows the width of the vehicle, but it also has these little tire tracks to see right where our actual tires are going, but then there's the full width of the vehicle as well, and there's also a center line. Because the backup camera is not in the very center, so it has to compensate for that to some degree. And you have these different views here. So we still have the front wheels here, but we can see where we're going when we go back. This is the full wide view of the back view. And we can hit this plus to focus in right where, like if we're backing up to a trailer or something like that, we can do that. Now we also have this 360 view right here, so we can kind of see what's around the vehicle. It shows the vehicle, a render of what the vehicle would look like. Even has the color accurate, and you can kind of see what's around you like that. This could come in handy in all kinds of situations, including off-roading. So we can actually drive like this, getting different views like that, and it shows the tire tracks and everything, or the width of the vehicle anyway, and the direction in which they're going. Even shows the brake lights back there as well. The trailer brake gain controls right here. And we have a physical volume knob. We can access the camera here, change to the tracks on the radio, mute the volume. There's four-way flashers here. Driver and passenger temperatures. It does have a climate control in the back as well. And you have the seats, heated and cooled seats, 3-stage for both the driver and passenger. And once again, you can use the screen here to pop that up and make adjustments there if you'd like. And you also have the four-wheel drive system and drive modes. So it has a full range of drive modes. So automatic, eco, sport mode, trailer mode, and then you have these off-road modes like snow. Let's go ahead and scroll through them so you can see the off-road here. So there's snow, mud and ruts, sand, rock, tow mode, sport mode, eco, and then standard. You also have a downhill descent button there in the very center. But if you want just direct control over the four-wheel drive system, you can have automatic, four-wheel drive high, four-wheel drive low, lock the rear differential. You can also turn off the traction control. Default is on, but if you need to spin tires for whatever reason, you can turn it off here. This comes in handy if you're like stuck or if you're going through something that's another thing besides just spinning tires. Shifter is here, so it's pretty straightforward. Park, reverse, neutral, drive. So hit reverse, the camera system pops up. Neutral, drive, hit it again to go to manual mode so you can use the paddle shifters. This is good for downshifting and stuff. It does have the automatic ride height adjustment, which will, depending on your drive mode and stuff, will do that. And then you have the ability to turn off the auto start, or the idle stop, basically right here. Default will be on. Every time you start the vehicle, it'll be on, and you can turn it off here if you like, if you don't want the engine to cut off every time you come to a complete stop. Now it has this surface right here. It's kind of textured, looks kind of cool. Feels nice as well. It's kind of like a roll top desk. You can pull it back. And there is the cup holders and a wireless charger, which works fine. Putting your phone in, it just kind of plops in place and instantly charges, even with this wallet case. And it has USB ports here, USB-C ports. The armrest is nice and soft and cushy. It looks cool with this little accent there in the center. Smooth though. Looks like it would be textured, but it's smooth. And once again, soft. Has a stitching there. This is kind of like a property line, so you can keep the passenger on their side. Press this button and this lifts up. It's kind of spring-loaded, so it doesn't slap back down on you. It lifts up. You have this quick access little Feltline tray, which I have my business cards in there right now. And then you have the deeper area here, which does have a light, which doesn't work all that great at nighttime. It works okay, but you know, it could be a little bit better because it shines basically right here. It doesn't shine down. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but little spoiler for the night videos, little details that you get in the night videos. You get to see it too. Rear view camera system. So it has a rear view mirror and a rear view camera. And the rear view camera is excellent, especially if you have a whole bunch of passengers back there and their hairdos are huge and getting in the way. Or if you have a lot of you know, cargo and all that stuff, this just gives you a direct view behind the vehicle. Also, the rear wiper wipes and cleans this camera. So if you have water drops or anything like that, the dust or salt or whatever is getting in the way, you clean the rear window using the wiper, and it's able to clean right there and give you a better view instantly. It's really well done. And you can have adjustments here as well. So you can adjust it up, down, left, right, rotate it, dim it, all that stuff. There's the inside camera for the dash cam. So up here you have a place to put your shades, and it's kind of like felt lined. You put your sunglasses or whatever. You have individual reading lights here. Here. You can turn on all the interior lights with that button. It's all soft touch buttons. You have the interior lights turn on with the door or not using that button. So right now it's turned on. And then this button is to adjust the brightness of the interior lights. So let's go ahead and turn on all the interior lights. Hit that button and you can cycle through different brightnesses that you want. Sometimes you don't want a real bright light, or sometimes you do, but you can adjust it there. Pretty cool. Roadside assistance information here, or the button there to connect with somebody in case you need them. And then right here is for the sunroof here. This is for the shade. We'll get to those in a second. There's a sensor for the ambient temperature in the vehicle. So as you adjust the temperature on the climate control, this gives you a sensor for basically the center of the vehicle. Now the visor is a black cloth, just like the headliner. It has a little clip here. It has a mirror with a light that turns on. It also slides out. And as we slide it over, you can see we get full coverage. So this vehicle has the premium package, and I'm going to have all the things that lists in the description. I don't have the window sticker. They didn't give me the window sticker, but looking at the features, it has the premium package on top of the Pro 4X. And one of those features, in addition to the dash cam and stuff, is this panoramic sunroof, which blocks 100% of the light and has a power retractable shade here. You have to press it twice to get it to go all the way back. And then you can vent it by pressing up, push it forward, pull it down, and then pull it all the way back to make it go back. Let's see if it goes all the way back. Let's pull it back again. Yeah, almost, but you still have to press it again. So yeah, I like the way it is. It has the shade that covers 100% of light, and it's kind of nice for rear passengers to have this open roof here to look out and see some stuff. A little bit less claustrophobic, especially on long trips. Once again, we got to press it twice to make it go forward. all the way. So looking at the visibility back here, you can see that it's not bad. I mean, the headrests don't really get in the way that much, considering how much windows you have. Now, like I said, it depends on how many passengers and cargo and all that stuff you have back here. But overall, I haven't had any problems driving it. Really, main reason why is because I use the camera system and the technology of the vehicle. So yeah, I mean, just looking over my shoulder and all that stuff, checking blind spots and backing out of parking spaces, it really has been no problem whatsoever. And of course, as a blind spot monitor, rear cross traffic alert, parking sensors, really advanced camera system, a lot of safety and technology to help you out with driving a vehicle safely. But as it is, just looking out the window, I don't see any major problems that you don't have in other vehicles, you know. I have it in sport mode now, so just accelerate. I'm not gonna really like go ridiculous with it, but I'm going to accelerate fast so you can hear what it sounds like. For a vehicle this size, it is pretty impressive. It's able to just rapidly get up to the speed limit, at least, really fast. Looks like somebody's lost some goats that are in the middle of the road. But yeah, pretty fast vehicle. So basically what it is that you don't even have to have it in sport mode. If you just have it like in standard mode, you have a lot of power when you need it. The sport mode just basically gives you more responsive pedal and stuff like that. So you're able to get that power delivery pretty much any time. It just smooths it out and it makes it more comfortable driving in standard mode. So now it's in standard mode. So we're just driving. Yeah. You still have a strong acceleration pretty much any time in this vehicle. And yeah, for the size, it's pretty impressive. For its size, it's real easy to drive. And so you don't feel like it's a large, heavy vehicle and all that stuff. But as far as the steering, braking, acceleration, zipping around in tight spaces, it's actually not bad because you have that camera system, which helps you out in the tight spaces. You have the acceleration so you can zip out in traffic and passing and merging and all that stuff fine. Braking is excellent. Matter of fact, there's nobody behind me, so let's go ahead and slow down real fast. Like a vehicle like this can slow down. I had to ease off on it a little bit because I don't want my equipment to fall on the floor. But yeah, I could have gone right down to the floor and stopped even faster. So yeah, it's very responsive. There's no, you don't feel like the braking is underdone or anything like that. And it's smooth too, it's not grabby or anything like that. But yeah, as far as driving it, it's easy to drive. The only thing is some of the features are not refined. So the lane keep assist system, I typically turn it off on these type of roads because when it's on, it tends to move around a little bit, constantly moving. And the other thing about it is that it'll move you into a lane and then beep at you. So like I didn't even move the steering wheel, but it turned the steering wheel into the lane and then beeps at you for going into the lane. So even with your hands on the steering wheel, it still does that, So my point is you're fighting against it to try to make it, to try to avoid going into the lane. So it's trying to go into the lane. It's trying to go over the line and go out of the lane, right? And you're trying to keep it from doing that. And then sometimes it overcorrects the other way while you're trying to pull this way to go off, keep from going off the road. Then it all of a sudden goes that way, and then you go too far that way, and then it goes over that line, and then basically it's beeping at you all the time, So it's and it fights against you as you're driving. So that's something that needs to be refined on these type of roads. On the highway, long straight roads that are less curvy, a little bit wider, it's fine. It would work okay for the most part. But these type of roads, the lines are clearly marked and everything, but it just can't handle I guess, small roads or something. I'm not sure what it is, but I just basically turn it off. And I'm glad there's a dedicated button. I don't have to go in some sub-menu to try to find to turn it off. I just quickly push that button, and now it's turned off. The cruise control and everything else is still on, adaptive cruise control and all that. But the lane keep assist system is now turned off. It's going to stop fighting with me, and it's going to stop beeping at me for going over the lines. So it's real easy to drive anyway, and you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel anyway. So might as well just, drive yourself. You're driving either way, right? It's just you're doing less fighting. So that's one thing that is just, I think that's really the only feature besides, as far as driving it. The other feature, which is the power liftgate, which has some kind of automatic function, which will open and close pretty much randomly. I'm going to walk past the car, just walk over in the driveway to get in the car, and then it just opens up automatically. I'm standing there getting my groceries out, or I'm standing there handling my equipment, and all of a sudden it starts closing on me. So I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it has like some kind of defective sensor or what's going on. There's no setting for me to turn off any kind of like automatic opening and closing of the liftgate. So not sure what's going on with that. So that's another thing that needs to be refined and figured out. Now this vehicle is just very similar to the QX80. There's a lot of overlap there, which is a good thing because you're saving a lot of money with this vehicle, and you have a lot of very similar capabilities and everything. So yeah, there's a few things that they need to work out. Nissan needs to work out on this one and refine it, which probably won't be a problem. But yeah, overall, it's a pleasure to drive. Having other people, they have plenty of room. They're comfortable. It's not a bouncy vehicle. It's able to have a height adjustment. It has a fairly decent all-wheel drive system, and so yeah, I would definitely take this for a test drive. If you're considering the QX80, I would definitely take this one for a test drive as well, because this might check enough boxes for you and save you a lot of money when you compare the two. And I think it looks good. The materials are nice. The Pro 4X's interior is really nice. I love these seats and the steering wheel and the exterior design. And so yeah, the sound system is really good too. It has the Klipsch system, and just like the QX80, it has that same reference system, which sounds really good. So rear view camera, full camera system, which you can expand out with the invisible hood view and all that stuff. Easy to drive, family friendly. Plenty of room there in the back seats, the third row and all that stuff. The cargo space is a little bit limiting, and the lack of a lip at the back where things can fall out. There's nothing really holding everything in. It's easy to put stuff in, but it's also easy for stuff to fall out. So when the power liftgate does randomly open up, if things are kind of like all the way in the back, right up against the liftgate, things can fall out. So, it's kind of like probably a good idea to put like a net pocket or something there to avoid that. But, as it is, it's probably okay. But there's not that much cargo space when you have the third row occupied with passengers. But, it's still usable. But yeah, it depends on your needs, Now, you can always fold down seats, so that's the plus. And they're powered and everything, so that's nice. And I like this screen layout and the all the features here with the navigation that has a satellite view. That's really cool. So yeah, there's a lot of technology that works well, and I like the way it just has a push button shifter instead of taking up a lot of room with some kind of like a knife switch lever. So yeah, it's cool. With these tires, it has you can hear a little bit of road noise. Very little noises though. Just the tiniest bit of wind noise if you really listen for it at high speeds. Exterior noises are fairly well kept out. The engine, you can hear that when it's revving, but it's just kind of cruising like this. You don't really hear anything. You don't hear anything. So it's pretty quiet. I mean, you can have a conversation, no problem, here with your passenger without raising your voice or anything, it's fine as far as the noise level, you know. And I think this is a good highway vehicle. You have a good height off the ground. You can see down the road well, and it's comfortable. It has a lot of features. It has towing capabilities. So yeah, the only thing is that if you have it packed with passengers, the cargo area is going to be limited inside the vehicle. So, you know, something to consider. But yeah, if you have, like, you know, 4, maybe 5 people, something like that, you can work it out. You know, the filling up all the seats would probably be a little bit of an issue, just because of the overall space would be better, you know, be taken up, and then the cargo space would be taken up, you know, pretty much a lot, considering you need that much luggage and everything to go on a long trip with all those people. It's significantly limited at that point. But yeah, good highway vehicle, and zipping around town works too. Definitely the camera system helps out. The vehicle this size, especially, like, I'm not used to, I mean, I like my daily routines. I'm not like driving a vehicle like this daily, a big vehicle, right? So when I do get in a big vehicle like this, I appreciate that it has a camera system that's going to give me certainty when I pull into a tight space. You know, I can really, you know, keep an eye on it, make sure I'm not, you know, getting too close to things. I can nail the parking spot and all that stuff. So yeah, the camera system is excellent in that sense. You know, all vehicles should have a camera system like this, you know, going forward. It doesn't necessarily have to have invisible hood view and all the off-road type features, but at least just like a 360 camera in the front and back, at least that. But it'd be cool if it had the blind spot cameras, you know, similar to Hyundai and Kia, where you have this, so you have a full screen here, and you have the same camera system. It's just give those views when you put on the turn signal would be cool. But it does have the blind spot detection system, or cross traffic alert, and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's a very capable vehicle in that sense. When you walk up to the vehicle with the key, it has a full proximity key system, and it'll sense the key at a certain point, and it'll unlock the doors. And I have that setting set to where it unlocks the doors. It shows this little approach light, which is more of an accent light. It has the vehicle on the ground, and it shines from the side mirrors. The exterior lights now turn on. It does have an off position on the headlight switch, but when you turn off the lights, it still has the parking lights on. It's not something you can turn off all the way. So let's go ahead and turn on the parking lights. The parking lights are these white LEDs, and they're basically daytime running lights as well. And they kind of have a style as well as function. Pretty cool looking. Looks like a big letter 3 right now on this side. But yeah, they're fairly bright. You're not going to mistake them as headlights or anything like that. But yeah, they look good. Nice, bright, sharp LEDs. There's also an amber side marker here in the front, a red side marker here in the back, right here. But the tail lights also wrap around to the side of the vehicle, so they're visible from the side and the back. And check it out, nice deep red, goes all the way across, almost all the way across. It has a little gap there for the emblem. But yeah, looking really nice. And it is a nice deep red. Camera makes it a little bit brighter, a little orangey, but it is a deep red tail light. Tag lights are also on now. The turn signal basically takes that white light and turns it amber and flashes it. And it's pretty bright, but it doesn't maintain that white light between flashes. But it looks pretty cool and bright enough, very visible here in the front, because it's a large light, and also can be seen from the side as well as the front. There's an amber turn signal indicator here on the side mirror as well. It's visible from the front, the side, and the back. And there's an amber LED turn signal back here integrated into the tail light. So yeah, pretty cool. Amber, not super bright, not as noticeable as the front, but it's bright enough to where you can see it, and it's in a position where, you know, people can see it as well. It's not like super low or anything. Now the third brake light is in the top of the glass in that spoiler, and the reverse lights are integrated into the tail lights. So now let's turn on the headlights. So now those accent lights, or the parking lights or the daytime running lights, are now a little bit dimmer. They're still there as an accent light, but the low beams are these projectors right here. So we have two pairs of projectors. We have these, and then we have the other ones. The low beams are on the top, the high beams are on the bottom. The fog lights are also on, and they're a projector as well, projector LED. Looking pretty good. Now if we step back here, the cutoff, it's actually a little bit bright up here, and then it does have a cutoff, so the cutoff is about just a little bit under 3 feet off the ground. So most of the light is below there, down here, but up here, still a little bit on the bright side, but I can still look directly at the headlight. It's not hurting my eyes or anything, but it's a little bit brighter than normal vehicles. So now let's go ahead and turn on the high beams. And the high beams, you can't really tell the pattern here. We're driving on a dark road, but so you can see now this lower portion is now illuminated right here. So there's the low beams, there's the high beams down here, and they work together, which is good. We're adding light instead of just refocusing existing light. The cargo light is just a single light here in the center, right here. And it's not that bright either, so it's okay, I guess, but it could be a lot better here in the back. It just mostly just shines lights right, and it's just a light right there. With a dark interior, it's a little bit of it could be just a little bit more improved. Maybe two at the top, or maybe one on each side, maybe some over-the-shoulder lights here under the cargo, the lift gate, shining into the cargo area. This is the off-road version, so you're out in the middle of nowhere, you need a little bit more light than just a single dim light, I would say. The third row light is fairly decent. It's just that single light there in the center, and it illuminates fairly well. I mean, it's not overly bright or anything, but it does a decent job of illuminating the third row. And yeah, the floorboard gets some light, the seats get some light. Here on the sides gets a little bit of light. So yeah, pretty cool. Second row, there's a light, one on each side of the sunroof, and once again, it spreads out the light good. Even the floor has a little bit of light in it. We have some USB ports there that are backlit, and then we have the controls there. Then there's a power supply right there that doesn't have any light. And the back door basically doesn't have any lights or anything. It doesn't even have any puddle lights or anything. No puddle lights, no approach lights, nothing like that. Just has one light here for the power window switch. Even the driver's door doesn't have a puddle light or anything. No puddle light, no approach light. Just has that little accent light that shines on the ground from the side mirror. But that quickly goes away. It doesn't really help you in any practical way. It's just kind of like a little cool factor, right? Wish it actually had a real approach light, a real puddle light. So really cheap vehicles have puddle lights. I'm not sure why this one doesn't have it. And once again, no pocket lights or anything. We have some backlit buttons here, but then the presets for the seats are not backlit. So yeah, no lights in here at all. Interesting. So there is some little floorboard illumination, and then the light in this compartment here, which that's pretty much glad to see that, because that's one of those areas in which is very dark, and if you don't have a light in there, it's not going to be good. And the lights coming here in the front are just coming from that center part right there. Just basically the map lights. I just turn those on. That's your interior lights, basically. Okay, so now I have the door open with the interior lights on so you can see what's going on. Shut the door. Interior lights fade out. And it has a subtle floorboard illumination. Let me increase the brightness on the camera here. That way you can see some stuff. It's going to be a little bit brighter than what it actually looks like, but at least you can see it better. So the buttons on the steering wheel, they're not super bright, but you can see them. There is a brightness setting here. You notice the screens are like super bright right now, partially because I have the camera blown out as far as the brightness, but there is a little dimmer switch here in which you can change the brightness. Let's bring it all the way down so you can see what it looks like and get it super dim, and then bring it up so it adjusts more than just the screen there. Even the steering wheel pops open, gets brighter. The only thing is, it's kind of like the Nissan Armada, in which some of the buttons are not super bright until you go full blast. Then you can actually see them. But yeah, they're still good. They're not as, like the Armada was like ridiculous. Not good, but this one's good. But yeah, we have some backlit buttons here. And once again, this compartment here is always lit. Looks good. Now the cup holder is not lit. The place where you put your cell phone is not lit. This compartment here has a little tiny light, but can you see in there? Let me turn on the interior lights. So I got my business cards there. But yeah, there is a light, but it kind of just shines directly to the back wall. And I put one of my business cards at the bottom. So yeah, it's mostly, yeah, I guess we can see it. It's just like dark in there. So, I mean, it's black. So the light, yeah, it picks it up. But yeah, the light just kind of shines directly that way though. And then it doesn't shine here. So this little compartment here, you have to use the interior light to see that. And that's your quick access part too. So I guess it's all right. Glove compartment does have a light. And then there's the light, the buttons for turning on the interior lights are illuminated, so that's a plus, unlike some other vehicles. And then the sunroof controls are illuminated. The visor has a mirror and light. In the settings, there's an accent lighting adjustment. So if you just want to adjust the floorboard illumination and that center console, that little light under the bottom, you can adjust the brightness. I have it all the way up. So it's not super bright even at all the way up, but that's the adjustment there. So that's under settings, accent lighting, interior light. This one does have a dash cam, and it works well day or night basically. Does a decent job of you know, just kind of recording what's around. It's not like super clear or anything, but you get the front view, the back view, and then you have an inside view right here. So you can see inside view. And let's turn on the backup camera so we can see that. It's pretty bright, it's much brighter. So let me turn the brightness down on the camera here. But yeah, so yeah, I can definitely see all around the vehicle. Now I do have some parking lot lights, but it's not super dark here. But in general, this camera system is really good with low light, day or night. It just works really good. Another camera system that works well is the rear view camera. So it has the rear view mirror, and then it has a rear view camera. And so during the day, you can see out behind the vehicle, and at nighttime. So yeah, it just kind of amplifies the existing light. So if there's a low light, when it's pitch dark, you can't see anything out of the mirror anyway. So this, you know, gives you a little bit better than the mirror actually. So here is the headlight pattern. There is the low beams, there's the high beams. So yeah, pretty jagged cutoff. It's not really clear, but it's supposed to have a little bit of a section that is dipped down for the oncoming lane. But other than that, I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit jagged. We'll see how it lines up on the road though. Sometimes at close up, they overlap, and they overlap on the road better. So I'm going to toggle on and off the fog lights. So there's the fog lights on, fog lights off. So you can see it's mostly closer to the vehicle. From my vantage point, you can't really see too much. I mean, you can see a little bit when they turn on or off. But from your camera, from your view, it looks like there's more significant. But yeah, you can see mostly close to the vehicle, basically. Now the distance for the low beams is not all that great. It looks like the sides of the road is well lit, well illuminated. You can see on the sides of the road well, but yeah, the distance in front of me is very, very short. You know, talking like 100 feet in front of me is where the cutoff hits the ground. So kind of interesting where it just doesn't really project very far. You would think with a vehicle this high up that you would get a little bit better distance with the low beams, but yeah, that's the way it is. And the little shadow that does line up on the oncoming lane fine. It looks like that's not the problem. It just appears that the possible an alignment problem or an adjustment problem, but yes, it's just, I think it's just the way these headlights are designed is what it seems like. So yeah, as we go down this little hill right here, we'll see the pattern. You see it on the ground. It's like not very far. Yeah, and that shadow on the oncoming lane at close up like that, it does kind of get in this side, but on my lane, but that's kind of rare that you're going downhill like that. But it doesn't help, you know. It just makes your less light, the distance even closer to the vehicle. Let's go to high beams. Yeah, high beams are much better. They kind of eliminate a lot of that a lot of those problems, which will, once we get on the darker road up here, we'll check these out a little bit more detail, the high beams. But yeah, I'm not really impressed with the low beams. I'm actually a little disappointed with the low beams. Vehicle this size, this price, you know, intended for off-roading and stuff. I don't know. It's the low beams, right? So, you know, if you're going off-road and stuff, you're going to be using high beams by yourself anyway. If you're just out by yourself somewhere. But yeah, definitely not impressed with the low beams. On the sides is fine. I mean, I can see on the sides of the road great, and close to the vehicle great, but man, it fades out very fast. Like, it's completely dark, just like 100 feet in front of the vehicle. It's like a cutoff on the ground. Okay, so let's go to high beams. Now, there we go. Now we can see way down the road. I can see on the trees in the distance. The road is illuminated. The trees are illuminated. The sides of the road are still illuminated because we still have the low beam still on. So that's good that we're adding this light. Yeah, so basically the high beams just basically fix all that. So, but the low beam should be better. But yeah, oh yeah, I can definitely see down the road. The brightness is adequate. The pattern is good. You can still see a little bit of the cutoff from the low beams still there, so it doesn't like blend it in or anything. But yeah, these are good. These high beams are very impressive here. Not like, you know, the best or anything like that, but compared to the low beams, they are very welcome. I'm glad that they have the good high beams, because that's really where it counts. When you're on a dark road and by yourself, you really need some good high beams, and these really deliver. Low beams, not all that great. High beams, really good. So yeah, I would say above. I would say, yeah, probably above average, or yeah, a little bit above average on the high beams. Low beams are below average. But yeah, the distance, the brightness is all in that average, a little bit above average, I guess you can say, range on the high beams. Yeah, I'm trying to find something that I can really criticize here on the high beams, but I mean, I can see good, so, and that's the point. And I like the fact that they're not like moving left and right and any motion. It just gives me good visibility all the way in front of the vehicle and the sides of the road as well. You know, looking out for deer and anything on the sides, anything I need to be concerned with, animals, that kind of stuff. So yeah, not really satisfied with the low beams, but the high beams, yeah, definitely satisfied with those. beams are definitely not blinding other drivers. You can see the low beams are hitting the bottom of the bumper on this vehicle in front of me, going 35 and a 55. And so yeah, it's not even hitting the tailgate. These low beams. So certainly not even making it up to the glass. So yeah, these low beams take a nosedive in front of the vehicle.